Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live cup draw for the PCN. Today is going to be the World Cup draw for FIFA 19. I got my buddy and partner in crime for the podcast and marquee matchups, Saul Goodman, here with me. How you doing, Saul?
I'm good, bud. How you doing?
Doing just fine, just fine. So, gotten a last few things ready to go on our end. So we can get this draw rolling. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to have all the teams in the randomizer, and we're going to go one by one. The first team will go to Group A, second team will go to Group B, third team Group C, and we'll just keep going. We'll rotate back around to Group A until we have all 24 sorted out. Um, so I don't know. It should be exciting.
Wait,
So we're going to have 4 groups of 6. Top 4 from each group will advance. Each team's going to play each other once. Um, so you've been practicing and getting Brazil going. What are your kind of just vibes on your team's excitement for it, and then kind of what you've been seeing from the league?
wait. So the groups aren't alphabetical order?
They aren't.
Oh man, that's news
Yeah.
to me. Yeah. So Brazil, Brazil. We've been playing a lot. Thankfully to Fuji, he's been manning the practices. I'm not able to practice every day, but it seems like he is, and we're getting a lot of people in there. We've made some big signings today. Um, we're excited. There's one squad out there. I'm not going to name them because I don't want to put the name out there, but they've been giving us some trouble. But, we seem to fare pretty well against most of the teams we play.
Yeah, I think it should be. I think it's a little too early to kind of name your favorites or say any teams aren't going to go far. I think we just don't know well enough yet.
Yeah,
So
it's still pretty early.
yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on. So here's the World Cup page on League Republic. So it's obviously, yes, it's got the details here. So right now, yes, obviously these are the groups. They're alphabetical just to make it easier on us. This is not the final groups. So got a little thing we're going to be putting the teams in over here. As soon as the team gets drawn, we'll transfer them to here. And then here is our randomizer. So like I said, we're going to go one at a time. And let's see how these groups build out. So first team to come out is going to be our Rushkin friends. Um, I believe that's Sol Wallison.
Yeah, it's sold down there.
Heard he's getting like some Simplicity guys over there for that team potentially.
I haven't seen any signings from him recently. I don't know if he's put anything up,
Yeah, I don't know if he's putting,
but
but I've heard some rumors he's putting together a pretty good squad. Um,
it'll be interesting to see that come together. We have not played them, at least not that I know of. So
yeah. Well, I'm curious to see how he does in his first managerial stint as well. And the next team to come out is going to be your Brazil in Group B.
there we go.
Appropriate.
Gotta love it. Group B for Brazil
hmm
because it's Brazil's division.
I don't remember what we wore last World Cup. I couldn't tell you what group. I think we were Group B, but there was only A and B, so it wasn't that crazy. Next out is going to be the only returning team from AFCON. Is going to be Seychelles.
Seashells. No, the way they want to pronounce it, it's seashells.
I mean, I think everyone wants to. Whether it's correct or not,
Yeah.
who knows?
They've got a whole bunch of players over there confirmed already. Austin, Stone, Vape, I think, Quad, Talentless, Jammy.
Yeah.
It's a deep team. Formerly Johnny's team, but we won't talk about that anymore.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Talent is going to be a co-manager, but or co-captain, but Talent or Stride is going to be taking over management. But so it seems like they got some of the same core from last time, but they're definitely adding some new pieces. So see what they do in Group C, and then Group D. Last team to come out is going to be Peru, who I'm a big fan of because they've been playing in PCN PER, which tells me they're a bunch of stat heads, which tells me they're going to win the tournament.
That's Captain Terrorist Squad. Yeah, I crack up every time we have to send them a friend. Played them quite a few times.
Yeah. We'll see if they ever get the U in there, but if not, I think I'll allow it. Um,
I like it personally.
yeah, yeah, I've played this him a couple times. Seemed like a pretty good squad so far. So now we're getting to the next round, seeing who's going to be joining who. So PCN Portugal is next up, joining.
That's Portuguese killer over there, 93. He's joining that Group A. I don't think I've seen much of him from signings, but I do know that he knows a fair amount of people around the league.
Yeah, and I know he and Momo Benfica both really wanted Portugal, so I kind of asked them like, do you guys want to go one of you not get Portugal, but or like you guys want to kind of go in together, and they were all about going in together, kind of like repping the Portuguese nation and flag. So I think they're trying to also get a lot of like actual Portuguese players in there. So there's always a couple teams I feel like they ended up being a lot of like the actual national team. So that's kind of fun to see if that's what they end up being as a team.
Yeah, I know he's got Shamrocks from his Braga team, and he also has Twit from our Dortmund squad that got promoted. So,
Yeah. Next up is going to be Italy with Italiano. So
oh, that'll be fun.
you got some competition there in Group B. I haven't seen too many people he's going to run with yet, but just knowing the kind of teams he usually builds out, I can imagine it's going to be a really competitive team.
Yeah, he's signed some players I recruited early on, and they look good. So that'll be a fun matchup for sure.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever won a World Cup or international tournament as manager, or I'm not even sure as a player, but maybe the time. We'll see. Next out is going to be our Reggae Boys. So
King Frost and all the other kings out there.
yeah, I did see a King's Frost on my friends list yesterday, and I was like, "Is that snow?"
Yeah, decided it's going to be a new king, I guess.
Yeah, so we have the kind of two most random nations so far in terms of FIFA ability in one group so far. So see what that means on the pitch. Next up is going to be Chile. Um, that's looking to be an interesting team too. I know Giannis is manager, but he's got I think Bauer's co-manager, who's kind of just bringing in a group that he knows. So I don't even know if Giannis knows all his players yet.
Yeah, I do know that he's going back in. I think he brought his brother along, so they have 10 and 11 Bowers there.
Mhm.
And then a lot of people from the past, I believe they just signed the uh, not admin, the admin of Marquee Matchups, Will. I don't know if he's actually confirmed it, but I think they're trying, they had him in their camp, so
Yeah,
got an
kind of a new
interesting mix.
title for Will, by the way, the admin of marquee matchups.
I like it.
I think we have a better title for him. I think he's like head of video media production or something. But titles are nice.
It is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Next up is going to be Mexico, ran by B God. Um,
Join that group A.
yep, and I've heard from someone who's going to be signing with them. He's like super excited he gets to play on a team with people who know how to do things on the offensive end. So that's always good.
Yeah, Ernie wasn't too excited about the way Real Madrid ended and how I guess it went all season. So
Yeah. All right. Next up will be Argentina. Argentino getting his first official manager job. He's kind of been managing Monaco here towards the end of season 11, but he's going to be
yeah,
taking over his home country of Argentina. So excited to see what he can do.
he's got some people that I'm familiar with through all my club plays. So I'll be interested to see how the team comes together.
Hmm. Next out of the pot is going to be Colombia. I believe this is another country being managed by someone of that nationality.
Yeah, I know they have cartel. It's basically cartel plus a few people. So that's the squad that I would be worried about moving forward because they're a very good squad and they always play us well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and so Cartel, like that first season of Late Night, was kind of just I feel like they were kind of mid-table, and then but the second season they definitely stepped up their game. If they keep progressing, they're certainly going to be a contender.
Yeah.
All right, third and not third and final, third team for Group D is going to be England. The question is football coming home?
I think I may have cut you out there, though. You said England, tea and scones.
Yeah, when we released the initial 16, everyone was all up in arms that there was no England, but we got one now.
There you go.
Yeah, but yeah, it's I think he was part of the Santos regime, but I don't know if he was ever the full manager. So it's another person I'm curious to see what they do.
Yeah, I think he's got Mapes as his co-manager, so
Yeah.
he's got some talent over there.
All right, next up will be Bosnia and Herzegovina, managed by King Turalic. Another one managing his hometown. Look at that. Have to expand the borders for two countries in one. Um,
Yeah, it's another foray. It's his first in, I think, in this type of tournaments, but it's his second after managing Tottenham all season.
yep, and yeah, so I know it's going to be an interesting team. It's going to be probably a lot of fun in that team, and they're going to probably do their fair share of talking. So we'll see. They're in a interesting looking group so far. I think they're in Group A. All right. Next up will be Ivory Coast, managed by Daddy Aiken. So that was a team in AFCON, but it's not going to be the same manager or team.
Okay.
Um, you looked at any of his signings so far?
I did earlier, and it was mainly people I didn't recognize. Coutinho, Mars Paxis, and then I did know Mr. Mace.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
he's building probably like some people he's played with at PSV over the years, and then probably some others that he's kind of played with and against that should help him out there. Um,
yeah, I did see some of the players I did recognize were like Jeepers, and I think Smoke Break is coming over there to help him out.
okay,
So it's a little bit of combination of players I don't know, and then maybe some that are a little bit more familiar.
it's coming together over there, and the next up is going to be France joining Group C. So Lego Dog, he was Colombia manager last World Cup. I don't think he finished quite as high as he would have liked, but now he's got Louis over there as his co-manager. I think he signed up Leak. A couple others are getting on board. That's looking like a pretty wide open group to me so far.
That's an interesting group. I would say, at least from first appearances, Colombia and Seychelles. I'm going with Seychelles, or probably my front runners of those four. So we'll see what else they get in there in the
And
last two.
I always love when a manager goes against his former team or former country. So in like a group stage, so Lego gonna have to see if he sells against Colombia.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Mm. All right, and the fourth team for Group D will be Wales, with Giomo, the Atletico manager from last season. And I will say I've traveled with this team a couple times, and it's super fun because as of now they're playing 4-2-4, and it is everything I ever thought it could be.
I'm sure that's a blast. I think we played you last night while you were running over there.
Couple nights
I
ago, I
don't
think. Yeah.
I don't remember the score or anything like that, but I think that 4-2-4 is interesting. It's going to give the three backs a lot of fits.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of can you get the ball?
Yeah, I mean, assuming he sticks with it the whole tournament. First of all, A, props for being willing to try something out like new, and B, just like I don't know, more props for being willing to try that.
Yeah,
Because everyone just plays 3-5-2, 4-1-2-1-2, maybe 4-2-3. I mean, some 4-2-3 is getting in there, but like no, I don't even know if anyone who's ever played 4-2-4 in like a league game in this league. So
yeah,
we'll see.
that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
I'll enjoy it.
All right, still getting along these groups. Ireland is the next team. They will be joining Group A, managed by Darcy.
Yeah, he sniped Spicy Beetle from me. I had him early on in my camp, and then went over to Darcy. They're going to be a good squad, I think, from what they're putting together so far.
I think definitely one of the more UK heavy in terms of the players, but I know it's not exclusively UK. Um, so we'll see. I was kicked out of that chat, so shout out Darcy.
Ouch.
uh,
Yeah, they've got Mad Kev, Batista. Well, it's Batista, but I like Batista better. It's, it just rolls off the tongue. So it is a lot of overseas players.
yeah. Next up will be Denmark. That's going to be Kayla taking over that team. She was a replacement when someone had to step down. So I think it was Belgium when Alain Ace had to stepped down from Belgium. She's taken over. So I don't know who she's got really other lined up other than Pineapple so far, but I'd imagine she's going to bring a pretty good team in there.
Yeah, no one's confirmed her first post, so at the moment, no one's on the squad. But I do know Pineapple's been acting as her co-manager, and I have not seen them play, so
Yeah,
I have
I'd
no
imagine
information.
they're going to be a 3-5-2 high pressing with a lot of talent. Don't know who specifically yet, but I would look out for them. Next up is the old boys, Netherlands, ran by Stay High, and it looks. I haven't looked at their roster exactly, but just from what I've been seeing in the chatter, I mean, it looks like a very unique team to be playing for Stay High, personality
Yeah,
wise.
it seems like some of the people that he used to have came back to him, maybe just to see if they can get a World Cup for him.
Hmm.
Uh, it's an interesting collection. They have like Slays and Avols, but then they also have, I think it's Maddie. Um, so they've got like, I don't know, chill people with a little bit more like, hate to say this about Slays, but he's a little bit like a trollish type,
Kind of a
having fun with it.
if you've ever seen
Um,
the Always Sunny bit where Charlie's hopped out of the van, and is like, "I'm the wild card." That's pretty much what I consider Slays to be at times.
yeah, that's a good reference. Very good.
All right. And the fifth team for Group D will be Czech Republic, Vaccine Lowell, unretired, as they always do. Going to be managing the Czechs. Don't know too much about this team so far.
I haven't seen them, or if I have, I don't remember seeing them, so
Yeah,
I
he
don't
has
have
kind of a
much.
crew that he's played with, and he's managed, off and on throughout the years. So I'd imagine it'd be some of those folks, and probably some others he's gonna be able to recruit for that team. So we won't speculate too much. And now we're into the final four, finishing out these groups. Germany, managed by Eddie Disaster, is going to be the final team in Group A. I'm curious to see who he's going to bring in. Maybe some Man United guys. I know he's got the Fight Club connection from before. Maybe try to bring in that team. But he seems really excited for it.
That's good. It's another team I haven't seen on the pitch, or I haven't seen any signings as well. So I don't know anything about them. It'll be the wild card, so to speak, of the clubs.
Hmm. Our third to last team is going to be New Zealand, managed by GC the Reaper, who I could be wrong, and he could have managed or co-managed early on, or could have managed early on, because he was a season oneer. But if he hasn't, this would, I think, maybe be his first ever manager job. So and it's a cool team. New Zealand's a fun team, so I'm kind of rooting for them as a neutral.
I was told from inside sources that you have to show up to practice drunk, otherwise you're not allowed to practice. So
He was a true Bad Boys player for 2 seasons.
yes,
You know that is how that goes. So we'll see how
if
that
you
goes
ever play,
down.
if you ever played on Bad Boys, you know that the one requirement is that you are not sober.
Yes. So final two teams, we will have USA going to Group C, which means Spain will go to Group B or Group D. So I know Kaz has been getting a lot of like the Benfica, Orlando, Chelsea kind of crowd. Like those three teams all have connections. It seems like, and seems like that's where the core of his team is going to be coming in from.
Yeah. No, I've seen it's from what I've seen, it's basically a mix of Benfica, Orlando. I guess there are some Chelsea mixed in. I didn't catch that one, but yeah, they look like a good squad. They're obviously Benfica's, I guess training grounds has given them all a similar style. So it's interesting. I don't know how much Casbon is doing per se, more fitting into what they have already. I would say, my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, if he can figure out the best system for them, I'd imagine 3-5-2 is probably where they're leaning. I don't know anymore, but um, I feel like if he can get the right people and they can get people to show up, that should be a very competitive team. And then Spain in Group D, the final team to be drawn. I've heard some interesting things about Spain, good and bad. I don't know about you.
I I know it's Boss, so it's going to be interesting. Played with Boss for a bit. The only people I've seen confirmed are the Taco Kid for him, and then King Evan. I I think there was one more, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Uh, so they've got a defense between the Taco Kid and King Evan. It's just a matter of. Oh, actually, you know what? I think the Taco Kid was released from there, so I think it's just King Evan at the moment.
Okay.
Uh, so we'll have to see who they bring into and how they recruit. And Boss has got some experience with Real Madrid, co-managing over there. So it'd be interesting to see how he puts a team together by himself.
Yeah. So here's your final groups here. Just blew it up a little bit. Um, so Russia, Portugal, Mexico, Bosnia Herzegovina, Ireland, Germany in Group A. We got Brazil, Italy, Argentina, Ivory Coast, Denmark, and New Zealand in Group B. Group C, Seychelles, Jamaica, Colombia, France, Netherlands, and the United States. And then finally, Group D, we're going to have Peru, Chile, England, Wales, the Czech Republic, and Spain. Um, just first glance, I don't, obviously teams just don't come together, but I wouldn't say that there's an obvious group of death or an obvious kind of easy group with just one or two good teams.
If
Got-
if I were to pick a group of death right now, based on what I know, I'd say it's Group C. I'd say Seychelles, Colombia, Netherlands are all going to be good teams. I think France and USA are not far behind them, and I think USA kind of be a dark horse for me with all the people that they have in there that are kind of familiar with the same situation. I think that could be a really good team. Jamaica, I just feel like they're going to be high the whole time.
Yeah, I think that's a decent shout. I think if we'd done this draw, in a couple weeks, so closer to the tournament, I think it'd be easier to and analyze sort of the strengths and weaknesses of each team. But right now, we're kind of looking at who's signed, what we kind of know from playing people in a couple friendlies. But it's really early. I mean, I think last tournament, I think Togo. I mean, for most people, I think going into the tournament, that wasn't the team people were looking at. But I know from watching that Confederations Cup, as soon as I saw them that night, I was like, oh, this team might win the tournament. And
Yeah,
they really to me that's one of the most impressive international teams I've ever seen in terms of a team that wasn't just like on paper the all-star team, but like they came together and really kicked people's asses the whole tournament. So I wonder if there's gonna be a team like that this time around.
that'll be interesting to see who's. Well, I'm sure we'll get a podcast before the whole tournament kicks off to kind of go over, like you're saying, as it gets closer to the tournament and what I've seen for then. I've already kind of looked at everyone, but we'll have a much better idea by then.
Hmm.
So,
Cool, cool. Well, we will have. I guess it may not be live, could be. We'll have a draw for the Confederations Cup for the kind of the pre-World Cup tournament. With 24 teams, we're going to figure out the best way to kind of do that. Whether we do a 16 and an 8, or we do a 24 with a few teams get a bye the first round. We'll figure that out. So we'll probably come back with a live draw for that in another week or two. Um, but until then, we should hopefully have another podcast in the next week or two, kind of wrapping up season 11, and then we'll like Saul said, we'll have a season or World Cup preview one. We're gonna have triple header this Sunday night for marquee matchup. We're gonna do two legs of one semi final in the Super Cup as well as the final. So look forward to more stuff from us. And team of the seasons will be out soon. Player of the season after that. We'll have an All Star game the week and a half from now on that Sunday. So trying to keep you guys busy and entertained through the end of FIFA 19. Any final thoughts, Saul?
well, it doesn't sound like you're going to be busy at all. So, enjoy your vacation while the season's off.
God, I need one.
No, just thanks for having me. I appreciate it, and good luck to everyone in the World Cup.
Yep. Alrighty, and my traditional outro music commence.